Hello and welcome back to Daily English Podcast, the place where we break down English for you, making complex concepts clear, useful, and genuinely fun. I'm your host, Morgan.
And I'm Casey. We're so thrilled you're joining us for this deep dive. We're looking into what seems like the simplest topic in English, but is actually, well, a hidden linguistic challenge.
The daily routine.
A daily routine.
Absolutely. It's like the first thing you learn, right? I eat, I work, I go to bed. It sounds so manageable. But here's the problem hook, and it trips up almost every single B1 learner I've ever met.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
They can list their own routine perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up, I brush my teeth, flawless.
But the moment they shift that conversation to someone else, their roommate, their boss, their friend,
It all falls apart.
that foundational grammar just immediately collapses.
Exactly. Suddenly it's she go to work or
Yeah.
he drive to the gym. That little S is just gone. And the whole sentence structure, it just feels wobbly.
It does.
So why is that S so elusive? Why does it disappear?
That missing S in the third person singular is, without a doubt, the single most common fundamental accuracy error in English. So our mission today is to completely dissect that struggle.
Okay.
We are going to lock in the core grammar, the simple present tense, and then layer on some really essential high-value vocabulary.
Ooh, like what?
Words like unplug and recharge. Words that make routine conversations sound not just correct, but
So we're not just giving you a list of verbs today.
not at all.
We're giving you the blueprint for talking about consistency and structure in your life.
Which is really a gateway to every other tense.
A gateway skill. I like that.
We have to internalize that basic subject-verb-object structure, the SVO, and achieve, well, a really robust mastery of those high-frequency daily phrases.
Okay, so before we dive into the heavy grammar, I have to tease the pop quiz.
Yes.
You hinted at a surprising fact about one of the words we're studying today, a word that means, what was it, extreme hunger.
That's the one. We'll test you later on the proper use and definition of a word that signals you are truly, desperately hungry. It's much more dramatic than just saying, I'm hungry.
I feel like I'm always dramatically hungry.
Well, using that word correctly shows real language sophistication, so stay tuned.
You definitely don't want to miss that. Okay, before we truly unpack this deep dive, please take just 2 seconds. If you are enjoying this, subscribe to Daily English Podcast and like this episode right now.
Your support genuinely helps us reach more learners just like you. We really appreciate it.
We do, thank you.
All right, let's jump into the grammar foundation,
Let's do it.
the simple present tense.
Okay, let's unpack this. We use the simple present all the time, but for a B1 learner, what is its core function? I mean, why does this tense even exist?
We call it the grammar of habit.
The grammar of habit.
Yeah, its core function is to describe fixed points in time. It's used primarily for three things: repeated actions, scheduled events, and things that are always true. General facts. It really paints a picture of regularity and permanence in your world.
So repeated actions, like I walk the dog every evening.
Perfect.
Scheduled events, like the seminar begins at 2 p.m. sharp.
Yeah.
And things that are always true. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
Exactly. It describes the fixed points on your personal map.
The things that are consistent, predictable.
And part of the general structure of reality or your life. Yeah.
But here's the classic confusion. How is this different from the present continuous? Because learners constantly mix them up. They end up saying things that just sound slightly wrong, like, I am driving to work every day.
And that is such a critical distinction to make. If you use the continuous tense for a habit, you confuse your listener because you are using the temporary action tense for a permanent habit.
So what's the easiest way to hold these two separate in our minds? An analogy, maybe.
We definitely need a clear analogy. I like to think of the simple present as the weekly calendar.
Okay, count.
It shows fixed, scheduled points, your habits, your job, the bus schedule. These things are predictable and repeated. They're on the calendar.
Got it. It's the fixed structure of your week.
Precisely. The present continuous, on the other hand, the one that uses the to-be verb plus the ing form,
Yeah.
that is the live video stream.
The live stream, I like that.
It shows what is happening right now in this very moment. It's a temporary action in progress, something that will finish soon.
Okay, that makes the contrast so clear. I usually drink coffee is the calendar entry. It's my habit.
Right.
But if you call me and ask what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I say I am drinking coffee right now.
That's the live video stream.
The temporary action.
So if you say, I am having breakfast every day, you're using the live stream grammar.
to describe something that belongs on the weekly calendar.
Exactly. The functions just don't align. You have to use the simple present. I have breakfast every day.
Let's run through a real-world scenario to really cement this. A situation where the context forces us to shift tenses.
Okay, let's imagine two colleagues talking about Maria.
You okay?
Generally, her routine is fixed. You ask, does Maria usually take the train to work? The habitual answer is simple present. Yes, she takes the train every morning. That's her calendar entry.
That's her normal structure, her habit.
Right. Now, imagine Maria is supposed to be in a meeting, but she's late.
Okay.
You look out the window, you see a huge traffic jam. Your colleague calls Maria. You ask, why is she late? And your colleague reports back.
What does she say?
She couldn't find her train ticket, so she is driving to work right now, and she is stuck in heavy traffic.
So the context shifted from the general fixed habit
She takes the train.
to the specific temporary situation happening right now.
She is driving.
The problem being late because of traffic
Yeah.
demands the live stream tense.
You've got it. That's the difference between memorizing a rule and truly understanding the utility of the tense. You feel it.
Speaking of rules, let's briefly talk about the verb to be. It's kind of a grammar rebel, isn't it? It doesn't follow the dodo's rules.
It absolutely breaks the mold. The verb to be has its own unique conjugations. Am, is, are. And it doesn't need external help for negatives or questions. It's totally independent.
So if I want to ask a question, I don't use do or does.
Correct. You just flip the verb to be and the subject.
Are you busy? Is she home?
Perfect. And for negatives, you just add not directly after the verb.
I am not tired.
Exactly. This independence is why we always separate it from the main verb rules. It plays by its own game.
That is super helpful. Now let's move to the most critical accuracy error we identified.
The big one.
The third-person singular rule. The identity stamp.
Yes, the infamous S or ES when the subject is he, she, or it.
I have to ask the dumb question for the listener here.
Yeah.
Why does this rule exist, and why is it so easy to forget? If I say they drive and we drive, why can't I just say she drive?
Yeah.
It feels unfair.
That is a great question that drives every learner crazy. Let's use an analogy to understand its purpose. Think of the S like a stamp of identity that English requires.
A stamp of identity.
Yes. It visually and auditorily marks the verb as belonging to a single distinct third-party subject. He, she, or it. It's all about clarity.
So it's like a required tag for single subjects that aren't me or you.
Precisely. If you look at we sleep early, there's no S. The action belongs to a group, no special stamp needed.
Okay.
But she sleeps early, there's the S. The action is uniquely stamped for that third-person singular subject. It's non-negotiable for accuracy in standard English.
What about the common spelling variations?
Yeah.
Because that adds another tricky layer for the learner. It's not always just adding an S.
It's not, and that's a great point. While most verbs just take an S, if the verb already ends in a sibilant sound, like a hissing sound.
Like ish or ish.
Exactly, or O, SS, or X. We have to add ES to make it pronounceable.
So that's why we have examples like she watches from watch, or he goes from go.
Or it rushes from rush.
Yes. And what about words ending in Y?
Good question. If the word ends in a consonant plus Y, like study,
S-T-U-D, consonant Y.
Yeah. You change the Y to I and add E. So she studies.
Okay.
But if it ends in a vowel plus Y, like play,
Day.
you just add S. He plays. Mastering these little spelling rules immediately makes your writing look more professional.
Okay, let's nail down the auxiliary verbs. Do and does.
The grammar police.
They really are. And they have a big impact on the main verb.
They absolutely do. When do or does enters a question or a negative statement, the main verb instantly reverts to its simplest base form.
Its original form.
Exactly. This is probably the second biggest simple present error after forgetting the S in the first place.
So if I use does, which is already carrying that as job, I must not add the as to the main verb.
Correct. You must not say, does she drives to work? That's a classic mistake.
Instead, you say,
Does she drive?
the auxiliary verb is doing all the heavy lifting.
It is. And in the negative forms, we should practice the contractions.
Don't and doesn't.
Right. Don't for iuife, doesn't. For he, sheet.
So he doesn't work on weekends.
And notice again, work is still in the base form. The work doesn't took care of the as.
That covers our grammar foundation. And, you know, speaking of fixed routines, that sense of fixed structure brings us perfectly to the daily routine itself.
It does. Let's move into the morning. This is where high-level vocabulary really starts to shine.
Okay,
And we'll start with a classic pair that confuses everyone because they happen so closely together.
let me guess. Wake up versus get up.
That's the one.
Okay, what's the real difference here? Do I use one for when my alarm goes off and one for when I actually, leave the mattress?
You're very close. They are fundamentally distinct based on a mental versus a physical action.
Mental versus physical.
Wake up is purely mental. Your consciousness turns on, your eyes open, that's it.
Okay.
Get up is physical. You physically leave the bed and commit your body to the day.
The source material mentioned that crucial pause where people stay in bed for a few minutes and think about my day.
Yes.
That pause is the key, isn't it?
It defines the transition. You can wake up at 6 a.m., but not get up until 6:30 a.m. That half hour in between is the space between the two verbs.
Let's explore those 5 dimensions of meaning to show the full scope here. Give us a casual example for something super relatable.
Okay, casual use. I usually wake up when the light comes in, but I don't actually get up until I have mentally reviewed my entire to-do list for the day.
Oh, I've done that so many times. Now, what about a formal setting? How would this distinction show up there?
Formal use. The research protocol mandated that patients record the time they wake up, meaning eye-opening, versus the time they get up, meaning ambulation, to track sleep inertia.
Ambulation, a fancy word for walking.
It is.
That's a very clinical measurement. Okay, how about something philosophical? That mental versus physical difference seems ripe for some deep thought.
It really is. Philosophical use. To truly wake up is to achieve self-awareness and awareness of the world's troubles.
Okay,
But to get up is to commit the body to action, translating that thought into reality.
I love that. The philosophical commitment to reality. Getting out of bed is a real choice. And finally, a funny or weird one to show an unusual context.
Funny, weird use. My dog will wake me up by licking my nose, but he refuses to get up himself until the room is completely warm.
The ultimate sleepy pet. Okay, let's improvise an extended role play about a difficult Monday morning start, making sure we use both words really distinctly.
Ugh. The alarm went off at 6:30 a.m. I am definitely awake, but I am currently arguing with the ceiling about whether I actually need to commit to the day.
I know that argument. If I don't physically get up within like 3 minutes of waking, my entire morning routine is ruined. But my body is screaming for 5 more minutes.
See, I sometimes lie there for 20 minutes after I wake up, just listening to a language learning podcast. That mental prep time is necessary before I feel ready to actually get up and move.
That 20-minute grace period.
Hmm.
So the rule is, you are awake, but you are not up. The physical action of leaving the bed is the true mark of getting up.
Exactly. And I need to take a shower as soon as I get up, otherwise I just feel sluggish all day.
Excellent. Now let's quickly look at 5 powerful collocations and nuances for these verbs. These really help with fluency.
Good idea. First, wake-up call. This is often used metaphorically for a serious warning.
Like, the economic crisis was a wake-up tell to save money.
Perfect. Second, get up and go. This is a noun phrase. It means energy or enthusiasm.
So I could say, I've lost my get up and go after working 12 hours straight.
Exactly. Third, we use adjectives like wake up refreshed or wake up tired to describe the state immediately after waking.
I woke up feeling completely refreshed this morning.
Fourth, be careful when giving instructions. Get up is a command to stand or leave a seat.
And wake up is a command to become conscious. Very different.
And fifth, get up early late. We link get up more often to time markers showing when the physical exit from bed actually happened.
Fantastic depth there. And speaking of energy, let's look at another word, metabolism. This often feels way too scientific for B1 learners. So my question is, does this word actually matter for a simple English conversation about food and energy?
It absolutely matters because it's so firmly rooted in the modern conversation about wellness, diet, and energy.
Okay.
In plain English, your metabolism is your internal energy factory. It's the constant chemical process in your body that converts the food you eat and the water you drink into usable, sustained energy.
So if I say, I feel tired, the response will likely involve my metabolism.
Precisely. Let's see the different ways this word shows up. Start with the casual context because that's where learners will probably use it the most. Okay, casual use. I need to eat a solid breakfast soon to really jumpstart my metabolism. Otherwise, I'll feel tired by 10 a.m.
And the source mentioned that water with lemon can help jumpstart my metabolism.
That's right. That phrase jumpstart is a great collocation.
Okay, so that brings it right back to the routine. How is it used formally, maybe in research or medicine?
Formal use. Research suggests that basal metabolism accounts for the majority of the calories burned daily, even in sedentary adults. We use calories burned to keep it clear for B1 learners.
That's a very specific technical usage. Give us a funny or exaggerated example.
Funny, weird use. My metabolism is so fast I can eat an entire carton of ice cream before bed, and I wake up starving. I feel like a human furnace.
A human furnace.
Yes.
Okay, now, a distinction that is crucial for B1 learners. What is the nuance between metabolism and digestion? They seem similar.
They are related, but they are not the same. Digestion is the act of physically breaking down food in your stomach.
Right.
Metabolism is the process that happens after that, taking those broken down nutrients and turning them into energy.
So digestion is the preparation.
And metabolism is the utilization, the energy creation.
That makes so much sense. Digestion breaks it down, metabolism turns the fuel on. Okay, let's do an extended role play discussing energy levels after changing breakfast habits. I feel so lethargic lately. I tried cutting out all carbs at breakfast to save time.
And how's that going? You seem to be flagging a bit already.
Terrible. I skip the eggs and toast and just have black coffee. But by 11 a.m., I feel completely depleted of energy.
That's because your metabolism is running on empty. You need healthy fuel to sustain your energy. Your body doesn't have the materials to continue the energy conversion process.
So if I switch to something like oatmeal, which has complex carbs, will that help boost my metabolism better?
Absolutely. Those complex foods keep your energy stable, preventing that sudden midday slump, which we are going to discuss later.
Right.
You're trying to cut corners, but you're starving your internal energy factory.
I guess I need to properly fuel the factory, not starve it.
Exactly. Okay, now, 5 quick collocations for metabolism.
First, slow fast metabolism. The most common descriptors. He has a naturally fast metabolism.
Second, boost jumpstart metabolism. These verbs indicate actively trying to increase its speed, often with food or exercise.
Third, metabolic rate. This is the actual speed at which your body burns calories.
Fourth, basal metabolism. That's the energy required just to live when
Yeah.
you are completely at rest.
And fifth, metabolic health. This broader term refers to the overall efficiency and function of your body's energy systems.
Perfect. Let's move to a word that describes making those habits meaningful.
Ritual.
Yes.
Okay, my question on this one is, I always associated ritual with something, religious or ancient. Is it okay to call making my morning coffee a ritual? Doesn't that sound a bit too dramatic?
Not at all. In modern English, a ritual is a habit or activity you do regularly, but the key is that it's done with care, with intention, or with meaning. It's a mindful habit. Making coffee can absolutely be a ritual if you approach it mindfully and really savor the process.
So the difference between a simple habit, like, say, I breathe, and a ritual is the intention you put into it.
Precisely. That's the core difference. Let's see the range of applications. Give us a formal, structured example. Formal use. The company implemented a weekly project review ritual to ensure all departmental teams maintained operational alignment. Here, the intention is professional structure.
And a peaceful, casual application in the home.
Casual use. My favorite Sunday ritual is sitting on the porch swing with a book and my French press coffee before the day's obligations begin.
That sounds like imposing structure onto chaos. I love that. How about a funny example that demonstrates the personal, mandatory nature of a ritual?
Funny, weird use. I have the strange nightly ritual where I have to fluff my pillow exactly 3 times before lying down. It's my brain's specific, mandatory signal that the day is officially done.
That's a beautiful example of a personal anchor, a very specific one. Now, let's look at the philosophical angle on why rituals are important.
Philosophical use. Establishing a daily ritual is how we consciously impose meaning and predictability onto the chaotic, overwhelming flow of time, creating islands of stillness.
Wow, converting chaos into meaning. That's powerful. Okay, let's do an extended role play about sharing personal self-care rituals.
I often ask successful people how they manage stress, and they almost always talk about their routines. So what is your go-to morning ritual?
Before I even look at my email, I do 3 minutes of gentle stretching and write down one thing I am grateful for. It's my small, non-negotiable morning ritual to ground myself.
That's so intentional. I rely heavily on my tea ritual. I don't just use a tea bag. I carefully measure the loose leaf tea. I wait exactly 4 minutes for it to steep, and I inhale the steam before taking the first sip. That focus makes the habit purposeful.
It sounds like your ritual is less about the action itself and more about transitioning your mind into a state of focus.
Yeah.
That intentionality is the difference between a ritual and just a simple routine.
Completely. My nightly ritual is to turn off all screens and read 20 pages of a physical book. It signals to my brain that the day is done and it's time to wind down.
Excellent. Now for 5 collocations and nuances for ritual.
First, morning, daily, nightly ritual. These are the most common time markers you'll hear.
Second, self-care ritual. This emphasizes that the action is specifically for mental or physical health.
Third, comfort ritual. This is used to describe small, repetitive actions that provide psychological security.
Like checking the door lock 3 times.
Exactly. Fourth, ritualistic behavior. This is sometimes used in psychology to describe highly fixed, repetitive actions that might border on obsession. So that's a key nuanced difference from the positive use of ritual.
Good to know. And fifth,
Breaking a ritual. This refers to stopping an intentional habit, and it often leads to feelings of being unsettled or stressed.
perfect. Before we move on to the midday work segment, let's quickly cover the practical preparation and hygiene verbs from the morning.
Good idea.
The sources gave us some great alternatives here. For cleaning your teeth, remember that brush my teeth and clean your teeth are often interchangeable.
And we should always reinforce the dental advice. 2 full minutes of slow brushing.
2 minutes is the universal linguistic and dental goal.
It is.
Second, the shower verbs. You can use either take a shower or have a shower. They mean the same thing.
And the lovely nuance from the source material was integrating learning into that. You can play soft music or listen to English audio while showering.
So you turn a routine task into passive language practice. Auditory immersion while washing up. Very clever.
It is. Finally, get dressed. Learners should know that the choice of clothing reflects the context of the day.
So comfortable clothes for working from home.
Or formal clothes for a big meeting. The clothes fit the calendar entry for that day.
The clothes match the intention of the day. Okay, we've listed individual actions. I wake up, I brush, I eat. But now we need to build a story.
Yes.
How do we link these separate sentences so we sound like a cohesive, fluent speaker and not just, a list machine?
This takes us right to our next grammar point, temporal connectors for narrative flow.
Okay. The core function here is using words like first, then, after that, next, and finally, to sequence events. But how do we avoid sounding like a robot listing actions?
We have to think of these connectors as the structural support of our narrative.
Give us the analogy that makes it stick.
Temporal connectors are the glue that holds separate sentences together, transforming disconnected actions into a structured narrative. Without them, your story just breaks apart.
Or,
Alternatively, they are the train tracks guiding the listener smoothly from one event to the next, ensuring coherence.
I love the train tracks analogy. It really shows that linear progression. Let's compare the bad list versus the smooth narrative.
Okay, the choppy list format sounds like this. I leave home, I arrive at the office, I check email. It's like a machine gun firing sentences.
Yeah, very robotic. Now the smooth narrative.
First, I leave home and catch the train. Then I arrive at the office and greet my team. After that, I check my emails. The difference is night and day.
It really is. The connectors transform 3 simple sentences into a cohesive, flowing narrative that a listener can actually follow.
Let's construct a short narrative sequence right now, using all the core connectors in action.
Okay, I'll start with the first action. I sit down at my desk and turn on my laptop.
First, I open my project management software.
Then, I check my schedule for any urgent tasks.
After that, I check my emails and answer the high-priority ones before any meetings start.
Next, I spend 90 minutes working on my core deliverable before taking a break.
Finally, I close my computer and stand up for a walk to rejuvenate my mind before lunch.
See, that short burst immediately elevates a speaker's fluency. That glue is just essential for B1 progression.
It is the scaffolding that makes your daily stories stick together.
Now let's tackle that midday energy crisis. Let's talk about the slump.
Ah, the slump.
My question is, I get so sleepy after lunch. Is there a precise professional English word for that sudden tiredness?
Yes, there is. The slump. It's a temporary period when you feel tired, lose focus, or lose motivation. It's most famously the post-meal crash or that 3 p.m. dip in energy. And it's so frustrating because it just disrupts productivity.
Let's explore the range of the word slump, starting with the casual and common use.
Okay, casual use. I always hit the 3 p.m. slump, and the only thing that saves me is a quick walk. Or maybe a cup of strong tea.
How is it used more broadly beyond just physical energy? Can a business have a slump?
Absolutely. Formal use. The retail sector reported a measurable slump in sales immediately following the end-of-year holiday period. Here, it means a dip in performance or activity.
That really broadens the meaning from personal energy to economic performance. Give us a philosophical perspective on the slump. What is it, really?
Philosophical use. The slump is the psychological moment when the mind rebels against structure, momentarily yielding to the body's gravitational pull toward rest. It's a necessary pause in relentless activity.
A rebellion against structure. I love that. Now, let's run an extended role play about two coworkers trying to motivate each other out of an afternoon slump.
Ugh.
I cannot keep my eyes open. I'm seriously hitting a wall here.
Tell me about it. I've definitely hit the afternoon slump. I think my brain has turned to soup.
We have to finish this presentation by 5 p.m., but I just want to put my head down. I need something to pull me out of this slump immediately.
Okay, strategy change. We are taking a break, a quick 10-minute walk to get some fresh air. If we try to push through this massive slump, we'll just introduce errors into our work.
You're right. We must defeat the slump. Let's go before I spontaneously fall asleep at my keyboard.
That slump-busting strategy is key. Now, 5 collocations and nuances.
First, afternoon slump. This is the most common collocation specifying the time.
Second, hit a slump. A common phrasal verb, meaning to suddenly start experiencing that period of low energy.
Third, sales slump. The formal business usage we just discussed.
Fourth, a key nuance slump implies a temporary dip in energy or productivity. It's often reversible with a break, which differentiates it from chronic exhaustion.
Good distinction. And fifth,
Combat the slump. We often use fighting verbs like combat, fight, or defeat to describe active strategies against the tiredness.
okay, so how do we fix that feeling? That brings us to rejuvenate.
Yep.
Rejuvenate sounds expensive, like something you do at a spa for a week. How can I use it to describe just a quick work break?
You can absolutely use it for a quick break. To rejuvenate means to make someone feel fresh, energetic, or new again. To renew life or vigor. It implies a really substantial, effective restoration of energy, much stronger than just refresh.
Let's look at how broad this word is, starting with the casual use that applies to our daily routine.
Casual use. I take a quick 15-minute power nap every day because it absolutely rejuvenates my focus and concentration for the rest of the afternoon.
That's a powerful restoration. How about in a more business-oriented context?
Formal use. The board decided to launch a major campaign to rejuvenate the brand's image and appeal to a younger, more dynamic market. Here, it means giving new life or energy to a non-living thing.
That's a great expansion of the word. Give us a historical example, the original spa day.
Historical use. Ancient Roman bathhouses were designed not merely for hygiene, but for the social and therapeutic rituals intended to rejuvenate the body and mind through heat and conversation.
The ultimate restoration. Okay, extended role play about planning a strategy for quick 15-minute breaks to rejuvenate the mind.
We are both feeling the weight of the day, but we can only spare 15 minutes. We need a strategy to rejuvenate quickly.
Okay, 15 minutes max. I'm going to focus on getting outside, even if it's just to the courtyard. The change of scenery and the fresh air will quickly rejuvenate my eyes from staring at the computer screen.
Good idea. I'm going to follow this source suggestion. Lie down on the couch, close my eyes, and put on some calming music. That 15 minutes of total mental silence really helps to rejuvenate my capacity for complex problem solving.
When you come back, you'll feel totally rejuvenated and ready to tackle that final budget report. We only have 15 minutes, but we have to use them intentionally to rejuvenate.
We must maximize the renewal. Okay, now 5 collocations and nuances for rejuvenate.
First, rejuvenate the mind-body. This specifies the target of the renewal.
Second, feel rejuvenated. Using the adjective form to describe the immediate result. I feel rejuvenated.
Third, rejuvenating break. Describing the type of break you're taking.
Fourth, the nuanced rejuvenate implies a substantial, significant renewal, whereas refresh is just a milder improvement.
And fifth, rejuvenation period. This is the noun phrase referring to the time specifically set aside for recovery.
Okay, we need one more key term for that burst of energy. Let's talk about the pick-me-up.
A pick-me-up. My question is a pick-me-up always a beverage like coffee, or can it be anything?
It can be anything. The core concept is something that quickly makes you feel better or more energetic. It's very informal and relates specifically to that rapid restoration of spirit or energy. It's the perfect antidote to the slump.
Let's see the different forms this can take, starting with the most common, casual use.
Casual use. I really need an afternoon pick-me-up. I think I'll make a quick cup of herbal tea and grab a piece of dark chocolate.
So food or drink. How about a non-physical pick-me-up?
Formal cognitive use. Management suggested that a change of scenery or a brief creative task could serve as a useful pick-me-up during periods of repetitive, high-stress work.
So a shift in activity can be an energizer. Give us the philosophical take on the concept.
Philosophical use. Sometimes the greatest pick-me-up is not an external stimulant, but the internal realization that you are capable of achieving your goals. It's a shift in perspective.
That shift in perspective is a powerful concept. Okay, extended role play now, about two friends offering each other different types of pick-me-ups during a long study day.
Ugh, I cannot focus on this final chapter anymore. I think I need a pick-me-up, but I've already had 4 espressos today. My energy is just gone.
You definitely don't need more caffeine. Maybe your pick-me-up should be a short nap. A 15-minute power nap always works better for me than sugar.
I can't sleep in the middle of the day. How about a physical pick-me-up? We should stand up and do some deep stretching right now to get the blood flowing.
That's a much healthier pick-me-up than chocolate or sugar. We need physical action to break the mental block. Let's do it.
Okay, collocations and nuances for pick-me-up.
First, afternoon pick-me-up, specifying the time of need.
Second, need a pick-me-up, expressing that strong, immediate requirement for quick energy.
Third, emotional pick-me-up. This is used metaphorically. A quick video call with my family is my emotional pick-me-up.
Fourth, nuance. It is entirely informal and implies a quick short-term boost. It's not used for deep, long-term revitalization.
And fifth, a quick pick-me-up. We often add quick to emphasize the speed and brevity of the intervention.
We've covered the entire day from waking up to slump time. Now we need to integrate nuance into these habits.
Using adverbs of frequency.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about adverbs of frequency placement. These words, always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never, are so essential. They move us beyond saying I go to saying I rarely go or I usually go.
They describe how often an action is performed and they provide crucial context, but the placement is the main error. So your question is, how do we know exactly where to put these words in the sentence?
Yeah, the placement feels chaotic sometimes.
It's actually governed by 2 extremely strict rules. Analogy time. Adverbs of frequency are like bodyguards protecting the main verb. For almost every main verb, they stand right in front of it.
Protecting the action. So, rule 1, before the main verb.
Comparison time. You must say, I usually go to the gym on Tuesdays.
Not I go, usually.
Never. Or, she never cooks dinner at home. The adverb is positioned immediately before the action verb.
Always before the action. But what about our rebel verb, to be?
Rule 2. They must come after the verb to be. The bodyguard shifts position to stand after the rebel.
So, he is often sick, not he often is sick.
Correct. Or, they are always late to the meeting.
That distinction is so crucial. If the main verb is to be, am, is, are, the adverb follows it. Otherwise, it precedes the main verb.
The sources gave us a great percentage mapping to help learners choose the right word.
Oh, I like this.
100% is always, 90% is usually, 70% is often, 50% is sometimes, 5% is rarely, and 0% is never.
Let's practice with a 70% frequency. If I go to the cinema 70% of the time, I would say, I often go to the cinema on Fridays.
Perfect. And if it's something I do maybe 5% of the time?
I rarely eat fast food.
You've got it.
Are there any bodyguards that aren't so strict about standing one place? Any flexible ones?
Yes, sometimes and occasionally are flexible. They are the diplomatic exceptions.
Why then?
They can move to the front, the middle, or the end position of a sentence, though the middle position is still the most common.
So, sometimes I study late, or I study late. Sometimes are both grammatically sound.
They are. But for always or never, you have to stick to the bodyguard rule.
That discipline creates accuracy.
It does.
That depth makes the rules feel so much more manageable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the evening and night routine, focusing on wellness, self-care, and achieving fluency.
The evening routine is so defined by our ability to disconnect, which brings us perfectly to our next word, unplug.
Yes, the core concept is to take a break from electronic devices or work stress. But my question is, this sounds like a great idea, but how do I use unplug professionally and casually? And is it only about the phone?
It applies to any source of digital connection or work stress. The definition is metaphorical. It means disconnecting from technology and the mental load of work stress in order to reset your mind.
Give us the casual application, because that is where the B1 learner will probably use it most.
Casual use. I need to unplug from social media tonight. My brain is starting to feel fried from scrolling.
A very relatable feeling. How about in a more formal setting, like at work?
Formal use. The consulting firm implemented a new management policy encouraging all senior staff to fully unplug during their designated vacation time to prevent burnout.
So it's official advice to disconnect. How about a philosophical take on unplugging?
Philosophical use. To unplug is to consciously turn down the volume of the external chaotic world, allowing the soft, quiet voice of the internal self and genuine thought to be heard.
That is profound.
Yeah.
Okay, extended role play about a phone-addicted person trying to follow the unplug advice for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. No phone. This is torture. I need to unplug completely, but I feel so twitchy every time it lights up over there.
I know it's hard, but it's so necessary. Remember, the whole point of the evening routine is to unplug from the stress of the day. The email or message can wait until tomorrow morning.
I know. But what if there's a critical update? I should just check really quickly.
No, that is the opposite of unplugging. Sit here, breathe, and focus on your physical book. You committed to a full, non-digital unplug for 30 minutes.
Okay. I'm sitting. The phone is in the drawer. I am officially unplugged for the next 20 minutes at least.
Excellent. Now, collocations and nuances for unplug.
First, unplug from work. This specifies the source of the stress.
Second, digital unplug. This is used specifically to emphasize the break from screens and the internet.
Third, unplug and recharge. These two verbs are often used together, describing the process of disconnecting in order to regain energy.
Fourth, nuance unplug is much stronger than just take a break. It implies removing that electronic tether entirely.
And fifth, mandatory unplugging. This is used when the break is forced by rules or necessity, like at a retreat.
That leads us directly to the concept of transitioning towards sleep. Our next word is wind down.
Okay, the core concept is to relax after being active or busy, to gradually reduce your activity level. So my question is wind down the same as relax? Or is it more specific?
It's definitely more specific. To relax is a state of being. To wind down implies a deliberate, gradual process towards sleep or deep rest. You are slowly reducing your mental and physical intensity, like slowly winding down a spring in an old clock.
A slow, necessary transition. I like that. Let's see the range, starting with the casual routine application.
Casual use. I listen to gentle music and do some light stretching to help me wind down after a long day before getting into bed.
How is it used for a group or an event?
Formal use. The committee decided to wind down the negotiations promptly at 4:30 p.m. to allow members sufficient time to prepare for their evening commitments.
So you're transitioning a large group toward a stop. Give us a philosophical take on this surrender to rest.
Philosophical use. Winding down is the conscious surrender to the night, acknowledging the limit of daily effort and allowing the mind to detach from the pressure of productivity.
That surrender is important. Okay. Extended role play, describing an ideal wind-down routine before sleep.
I really struggled to fall asleep last night. My brain was just racing about tomorrow's tasks.
You probably didn't wind down properly. You can't just jump straight from high-intensity work or an exciting video game to instant sleep.
You're right. I need a proper wind-down routine. What should I do at 9 p.m.?
Okay, try this. At 9 p.m., you start to wind down. Turn off the exciting screens, make some herbal tea, read a physical book. That slow, gradual process signals to your brain that rest is coming.
I will try that tonight. I need a more deliberate way to wind down the evening and achieve proper rest.
Collocations and nuances for wind down.
First, wind down routine, the essential noun phrase.
Second, start winding down. The exact moment you initiate the process. I start winding down at 8:30 p.m.
Third, winding down the evening, using the present continuous to describe that ongoing transition period.
Fourth, nuance wind down implies a necessary transition toward rest or sleep, whereas relax is just general rest.
And fifth, wind down music tea, using specific items to facilitate this transition.
Moving quickly to our last vocab word.
Oh.
Leftovers. The core concept is food that was not eaten at a previous meal and is saved for later.
Yes.
But my question is a cultural one. Is eating leftovers a sign of being poor, or is it normal?
That's a great cultural question. In a modern English context, particularly in most Western cultures, the term leftovers is overwhelmingly positive or practical.
Really?
Yes, it speaks to frugality, convenience, and waste reduction. It's generally seen as a very smart habit.
So there's no shame in taking last night's curry to work.
Absolutely not. In fact, people are often proud of it. Let's look at the range, starting with the casual common use. Casual use. We had pizza leftovers for lunch today, and they were still delicious and saved me so much time.
How about its formal application regarding food waste?
Formal use. The new corporate waste reduction policy mandated that all edible kitchen leftovers must be appropriately refrigerated and repurposed to minimize environmental impact.
The historical context is interesting here too, reflecting times of necessity.
Historical use. In times of post-war scarcity, the utilization of leftovers was not a choice but a necessity, underpinning household economic survival and resource management.
Okay, extended role play. We're in the office kitchen, and you are proudly announcing you're eating leftovers.
Ah!
What are you having for lunch today? That smells incredible.
Oh, this. I am having last night's delicious chicken and vegetable stew. These are my glorious leftovers.
Oh, nice. I usually bring leftovers from dinner on Sunday, but I already finished them. It's so much easier and cheaper than buying a sandwich every day.
It saves time and money. I love having leftovers because it means I don't have to cook lunch.
Absolutely. Eating leftovers is smart, efficient, and great for the budget.
Okay, collocations and nuances for leftovers.
First, dinner leftovers. The most common type of saved food.
Second, eat the leftovers, the primary verb phrase used.
Third, leftover time energy. We can use it metaphorically. I use my leftover energy in the evening to read.
Fourth, nuance. The term is positive and practical. If food is just thrown away, that's called food waste, not leftovers.
And fifth, repurposed leftovers. This is used when the food is transformed into a new dish, not just reheated, like making a pie from leftover roast chicken.
Exactly. Now, let's wrap this section with fluency strategies. How do we take all this content and use it actively, moving it from passive knowledge to active skill?
The sources gave us 3 amazing techniques for B1 learners. First up, shadowing. This is the cornerstone of building rhythm and intonation.
Shadowing relies on simultaneous repetition. The goal is to build muscle memory so you can eventually speak without translating.
We should detail the 3-step technique for our listener.
Step 1. Listen. Listen to a native speaker like a short segment of this deep dive with the transcript open. This links the sound you hear to the written word.
Step 2. Repeat. Repeat the words immediately after the speaker, focusing on mimicking the pace and rhythm of the native voice. You're focusing on muscle memory here, not comprehension.
Step 3. Produce. Produce the full sentences out loud, maybe without the transcript this time, focusing on improving your speaking speed and accurate pronunciation. This moves you directly to motor production.
The second technique is active production via the Daily Voice Journal. This is the ultimate self-test.
The instruction is to record a short audio clip, just 1 to 2 minutes, every evening describing your day's routine using the simple present tense.
Why do that?
Because it tests your spontaneous production and allows you to track and correct those systemic errors like the missing S over time.
And the third technique, emotional context. We have to move beyond simple recitation. I work, I eat, and add feeling.
Yes, we have to integrate simple feelings to elevate the dialogue to an A2 level of readiness. When you describe your routine, don't just say, I finished all my work. Say, I finished all my work and I feel proud. Or, I had a terrible slump, but I feel rejuvenated after my walk. That emotional context makes the English real.
We have covered the entire day. Now let's solidify all this with a common mistake segment. We have to address the most critical, simple present errors we see in practice.
Let's fix those 4 critical accuracy errors.
Okay, mistake number 1. The classic third-person singular error in a negative sentence. Can I say it like this? He don't work on weekends.
No, that is grammatically incorrect. Native speakers would actually say, he doesn't work on weekends.
We're enforcing the rule that the auxiliary verb must be does for he sheet, and the main verb work reverts to the base form.
Exactly. Does the work, so the main verb gets to rest.
Mistake number 2. Forgetting the particle on a phrasal verb. Can I say it like this? I wake in the morning.
That just sounds unnatural, like a robot talking. Native speakers would actually say, I wake up in the morning.
This really emphasizes learning those high-frequency phrasal verbs like wake up, get up, put on as single units. The particle is essential for authentic usage.
They are multi-word actions that must be learned together.
Mistake number 3. Adding an unnecessary pronoun to a fixed phrase. Can I say it like this? I go to my bed.
We understand the meaning, but it is definitely awkward. Native speakers would actually say, I go to bed.
Why do we drop the possessive my here?
Because go to bed, like go to work or go to school, is a fixed idiomatic phrase in English. Adding my or the is unnatural and unnecessary in this specific context.
Mistake number 4. The adverb placement rule that we just discussed. Can I say it like this? I brush my teeth always.
No, the placement is incorrect. Native speakers would actually say, I always brush my teeth.
We have to review the bodyguard rule one last time.
The frequency adverb must come before the main verb, I always brush. The only time the adverb moves is when the main verb is to be, in which case it follows. He is often late.
Fantastic clarity on those 4 critical errors.
Mhm.
Now let's move to the pop quiz and outro. Let's see how well our listener retained the vocabulary and concepts.
I am ready to challenge both you and the listener.
Bring it on.
Question 1. Testing that surprising vocabulary teaser we promised earlier. What word means to feel extremely hungry, suggesting you've been without food for a long time, and is often used dramatically in casual speech?
Ooh, I know this. That would be starve. As in, I forgot lunch, and now I am absolutely starving.
You nailed it. It carries a much stronger emotional weight than simply hungry.
Question 2. Grammar focusing on the adverb of frequency placement rule. Complete this sentence. The adverbs of frequency must come after the verb a.
Ah, that is the rebel verb. The answer is to be.
You got the exception rule exactly right.
And question 3, focusing on fluency strategies. What do we call the technique of repeating English words immediately after a native speaker to build rhythm and muscle memory?
That technique is called shadowing. It's the key to speaking without that internal translation.
Absolutely right. Okay, let's summarize the top concepts we learned today.
We locked down 3 primary concepts. First, the function of the simple present tense for describing regular habit and routine, the weekly calendar.
Second, the mandatory and critical third-person S rule, the identity stamp, and how auxiliary verbs like does affect the main verb.
And third, the importance of temporal connectors, like first, then finally, for linking our routine actions into a cohesive, fluent narrative.
And the top 5 words we deep dived into that move you beyond basic English.
We had unplug, to disconnect from technology.
Wind down, the slow transition toward rest.
Rejuvenate, to feel fresh and energetic again.
Slump, that post-lunch tiredness.
And ritual, a mindful, meaningful habit.
That is a phenomenal toolkit for talking about your daily life with confidence and precision.
Our deep dive mission is complete, but before we sign off, we have a micro challenge for you, the listener.
Your task is simple. Use one of the new words we covered, like unplug or recharge, to write one full sentence about your evening plan in a comment below. Keep it simple, but use that new vocabulary.
Fantastic. We want to see those sentences in action. And here is your final thought to mull over. The core sources repeatedly stressed that consistency, not duration, is the key to linguistic success. They suggest just 10 to 15 minutes of intentional English practice daily.
The real challenge isn't learning English. It's making English an immovable, non-negotiable part of your existing daily routine. So think about where you can anchor your English practice, perhaps right after you get up or while you wind down, and turn that small action into a powerful, permanent ritual.
Wise words. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Daily English Podcast. We deeply appreciate your support.
Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.
I'm Morgan. See you next time.
And I'm Casey. Bye.